My name is Hiền and I'm your examiner today. Can you tell me your full name, please?
My full name is Lê Ngọc Quân.
Okay, now let's move to part one. In the first part of the test, I'd like to ask you a few questions about yourself. Let's talk about what you do. Do you work or are you a student?
I'm working as a freelance teacher. I primarily offer classes to high school students, but there are also lessons for younger kids. It's just that, these are few and far between.
What do you like most about your job?
Well, there are certainly many things that I like about it. I mean, the pay is pretty good, and I get to teach, science in English, which is great because my Vietnamese isn't that great when it comes to, scientific concepts. But for me, the cherry on top is the fact that, I get to do, fun experiments with my students. I mean, the other day we blew something up, which the kids loved.
What technologies do you use for work?
Well, when it comes to my online classes, I use Zoom as the main platform. And what's great about Zoom is that I can show my students YouTube videos and engaging simulations, which they really enjoy. I can also host online games on Kahoot and Blooket, but I'm trying to use these platforms in moderation because my students tend to enjoy the playing aspect more than the learning aspect.
Okay, so now let's move to social media. Do you often use social media for entertainment?
I would say so. I mean, I have several apps that I use to watch videos. I definitely have YouTube, which is good because I show my students experimental procedures, and I also have TikTok, but I feel like I need to do something about the frequency with which I view videos on this particular app because its algorithm is super effective. And the other day, I wanted to get some work done, but I ended up like doom scrolling for hours on end.
Which social media apps will you delete in the future?
Well, I'm actually thinking about removing TikTok, mostly because of the fact that it's very addictive. But I'm trying to build my own page on that platform. So this is something that I'm going to have to meditate on. I also want to delete Facebook, mostly because I spent too much time on it to the point that I can't really get any work done in the morning.
Okay, so what types of app do you want to download?
Well, I'm thinking about downloading some apps that can help me enhance my work productivity. So I can't think of a particular example at the moment, but there are a few apps out there that help me to make lists of the things that I'm supposed to do in a day. And I think that they're going to be very useful for me because at the moment, my discipline is kind of like on a slippery slope. Like as I've mentioned the other day, I didn't get any work done at all, and I think that I need to get to grips with it.
Okay, so now let's move to flowers. Are there many flowers where you live?
I would say so. There is a really nice park close to my apartment building, and there are lots of trees there. So my assumption is that they're gonna be like there's gonna be like lots of flowers. It's just that I have never really paid attention to the flowers of these plants, mostly because they're too small. But they're very fragrant, especially in the winter.
Have you grown any flowers on your own?
I don't think so. I mean, like a lot of people, I don't have green fingers, and I'm not really good at taking care of things other than myself. I do know a thing or two about growing plants. Like you need to make sure that they get enough sunlight, and you might have to use fertilizers to make sure that they grow healthily. But that's all I can say with regard to growing flowers.
On what occasions do people often give one another flowers?
Well, I imagine that flowers can make good gifts on special occasions. Like here in Vietnam, we have many special holidays, like Women's Day or Teachers' Days. Well, like I don't get flowers that often, but my female colleagues tend to receive flowers on these special days, and I can tell that they really like being given flowers because they tend to have a bright smile afterwards.
Okay, so now let's move to part two. In this part two, I'm going to give you a topic. You should talk about it between 1 and 2 minutes. Before that, you have 1 minute to make some notes if you want. And here's your topic. I would like you to describe a time when you saw something in the sky. And your time for preparation start now. Okay, so your time's up. Remember, you can speak about this topic between 1 and 2 minutes, and don't worry if I stopped you. You should start speaking now.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you about a glorious sunrise that I saw a while ago. So many years ago, I was working for an educational center, and I was the head of the science department at the time. But I had a lot on my plate, and I was like working around the clock, getting projects done. But at one point, I felt like I was running on empty. So I asked a couple of colleagues of mine to go on a trip to Sapa, which is a very lovely town in the north of Vietnam. And so we went there, and it was during the winter, so it was very cold. But we actually planned to do a lot of activities. We definitely paid a visit to the local market where we essentially just ate to our heart's content, which was my favorite part. And then a colleague of mine suggested that we should go to the mountains to see sunrise. And initially, I didn't want to do it because, like, I really just wanted to go to Sapa to just recharge my batteries, and getting up early in the morning was not exactly something that I would enjoy doing. But my friends convinced me, and I decided to hop on board anyway. And so early in the morning, at around like 4 o'clock or something like that, I woke up, and we all went to the mountains. It was very dark and slightly foggy, but we managed to make our way to the summit just in time to see the sunrise. It was glorious. I mean, it was beautiful. I'm not quite sure if it was the trick of the sun, but like the clouds looked psychedelically colorful, which was
Okay, so your time is up. Now let's move to part three. I'd like to discuss one or two general questions related to what you've been talking about, which is a time when you look at the sky. Why may people look up at the sky?
Well, I suppose there are many reasons for people to do that, although it's not something that I would do when I'm at a loose end. First off, I would say that a lot of people might look up at the sky when they're on their break. And this is especially true when it comes to office workers who have lots to get through in a day, doing paperwork, or IT technicians who have just solved very difficult technical issues. They might just go out for a breath of fresh air, and when they look at the sky, they can sort of temporarily take their mind off work. In addition to that, sometimes there are special occasions when you can see like, wonderful things at the sky as well. Like a couple of months ago, our country had this very special anniversary. It was the 80th anniversary of our reunification. And during that particular time, there were lots of airplanes flying around, bringing our national flag out. So that was a very lovely sight to see.
Okay, is there any special meaning associated with sunset and sunrise?
Well, I would say so. I mean, I'm not quite sure what people actually think about it, but in lots of the literature works that I have read throughout the years, sunsets often represent a new beginning, whereas, sorry, sunrises. I think that I messed up these two words. For sunrises, when people look at them, they're inspired because they know that they have a new day ahead, and they, can do great things to, improve their work or change their lives. With regard to sunsets, sometimes they might be associated with something negative, because that particular color that you see when the sun falls down is in a way saddening. But a lot of people actually look at sunsets as just a beautiful sight. I mean, the other day when I was crossing Long Bin Bridge, there was this mesmerizing sunset, and lots of people just stopped to take pictures. And lots of these photos actually went viral on the internet.
Is it important to learn about stars and planets?
I would say that learning about stars and planets along with other celestial bodies can be an interesting experience, but I'm not quite sure if it's genuinely essential. I mean, you definitely need to know more about science, because like technological development is taking the world by storm, and essentially it's the backbone of all types of development. So when you learn about stars and planets, perhaps you will learn more interesting things regarding the technologies that allow you to make important discoveries related to planets and stars. But I wouldn't say that it's absolutely crucial, because not all of the kids will grow up to be astronauts, or those who want to travel to other parts of the universe.
What do you think about investing in space projects?
I think that space projects can definitely lead to meaningful development, but I think that governments need to keep tabs on other issues that they are dealing with as well. I mean, I guess when you invest in space projects, you might obtain more advanced technologies. You can develop superior materials that can withstand the harsh conditions in outer space, and you might be able to discover new ways to harness renewable energies as well. But then again, I don't know if researching space is gonna get us anything. So countries really need to keep track of their investments, and to make sure that they can allocate funds to areas that need support as well, like education or healthcare.
Uh, do you think space tourism is feasible?
Um, well, from my point of view, it's certainly within the realm of possibility. I mean, considering our current rate of technological development, perhaps somewhere down the line we will be able to make space tourism somewhat of a norm. I'm not quite sure if people are actually interested in the idea of going to a space station just to see what the vastness of space outside of the Earth has to offer. But from the videos that I have seen from those who are working at NASA space stations, well, it's quite a sight to behold, and perhaps rich people will jump on board first, and then somewhere down the line, this type of tourism might become more commercially available for ordinary individuals as well.
Okay, so that's the end of your speaking test. Thank you.
Okay. Oh,
Em,
lạnh
em
chúa.
bảo,
Thôi.
em đố anh biết là trong cái bài nói vừa rồi